Hello, my name is Fiona Imbali from ACTS, and today I am privileged to speak to an economist from the Ministry of Water and Environment in Uganda. And we are just going to engage on a few issues about the GCF processes and the CRIBS mechanism that has been discussed for the past 2 weeks here at the Elementaita Country Lodge. Welcome, madam.
Oh, thank you, Fiona.
Tell us a bit about yourself and what you do for the ministry.
I'm Mildred Namiira. I work with the Ministry of Water and Environment. I'm an economist by profession. I engage so much in proposal writing, budgeting, planning, reporting, data collection, monitoring and evaluation, and so on. The list is endless. I'm so happy to be part of this training that took place at Elementaita, and at the same time I'm so sad that the training has ended. It has ended so early.
2 weeks is a long time.
Yeah, it looked a long time when I was coming, but again I saw it shifted so fast.
All right. In Uganda, they refer to you as the GCF lady. Why?
Well, we are in the process of getting accredited as a ministry. We've applied to get accredited under Adaptation Fund and the GCF. Adaptation Fund, we are somewhere. The two processes are not easy. It is engaging. You can't do it alone. You need stakeholders. You work in groups. You need to keep consulting, and it is a back and forth process. It is exciting at the same time challenging. So I've been working closely with my boss, Mr. Kawesi James, and we've come from far, and I believe that we are almost there. We shall get accredited soon.
Thank you very much. Well, your project proposal is on Valley Dams and Valley Dams and Valley Tanks rehabilitation in Uganda. About the whole landscape architecture in Uganda, could you tell us a bit more about how you intend to, what your project first of all is all about, and how you intend to ensure that your proposal is to the standard of the GCF?
Now, that's quite a good question. My proposal is on rehabilitation of valley dams and valley tanks in the cattle corridor of Uganda, but in an integrated manner. The way we've been doing it has been the business as usual way. Collect equipment, come, desilt the dam, equipment goes back, the dam stores some water for a certain period of time, and again it silts again. Like it has been a continuous process, and it is a bit costly. So my project is proposing that if we can involve another approach of doing things, we would be able to minimize costs of rehabilitating dams, and that approach is in line with, again, climate change adaptation and mitigation of the region where these valley dams are concentrated. We have over 102 valley tanks that need rehabilitations. They were constructed like 50 years plus. And my project is proposing that if we can regreen the landscape, involve communities to plant appropriate grass, appropriate trees, we regreen that landscape so that there's not a lot of surface runoff whenever it rains. You know, when there is runoff, soil is pushed into the dams, and that causes a lot of this silting of these dams. I'm hoping that if we do these things in a smart way, in a landscape approach, in an integrated way, we shall minimize the silting of dams, we shall minimize costs, we shall have a green cattle corridor, restored catchment, and I think the costs of rehabilitating all the time these dams will be minimized, and in the process, livelihoods of the people surrounding those dams will be improved, and even the quality of water will also improve.
Perhaps someone might say that maybe other people have thought about the same ideas before. What will make your idea innovative for the GCF board to look at it and say, hey, maybe this is an idea that we would like to fund?
Well, like I said, the way I'm trying to design it, I'm looking at a landscape an organized place, green as this place that we are in. So some of the interventions I've suggested are rehabilitation of the landscape, revegetating. Then, to reduce the pressure on dams, I'm thinking of another intervention, introducing of technologies that are affordable to communities at domestic level, where water is efficiently used. I would call it a water use efficiency way of collecting water, such that the domestic water that is used for washing, for cleaning, is deposited somewhere and recycled back. That will minimize the distance ladies, kids, women and girls take to the valley tanks and back. And at the same time, it will minimize the pressure on dams. The dams will now be supplying big ventures, agriculture, irrigation, and cattle rearing.
Thank you very much. You have been here for 2 weeks, courtesy of the University of Sussex and the Africa Sustainability Hub located within ACTS. We have learnt a lot about the CRIBS mechanism and the GCF processes. How was your experience for the 2 weeks in regards to the CRIBS mechanism?
Yeah, the CRIBS mechanism is a new innovation and is unique at that. When I applied for this training, you requested us to come up with a concept note, a draft, a one-page concept note, which I came up with, and I must say I picked it from one of our pipeline projects, the ones that were proposed for GCF. While I was talking to my supervisor, that's Mr. James Kawesi, he said, no, you pick on rehabilitation on valley tanks and valley dams. Then I was like, okay, let's see what comes out of this. It wasn't from scratch, but the way the project was organized wasn't in a system-wide kind of thinking. So when I reached, I thought I'd done well. When I reached here, we started the training well enough. They introduced us to that new concept called CRIBS. And I kept wondering, CRIBS, what is CRIBS? And indeed, when we went further to learn about what CRIBS was all about, I saw it was really practical, and it would market our proposals more. The one that I had previously under our pipeline projects, I doubt if it would compete compared to the one that have now strengthened through the CRIBS approach. The CRIBS approach is like a way of thinking in a system manner. I was thinking at a lower scale of just rehabilitating dams and valley tanks. But when I started this CRIBS training, I started expanding my thinking. I changed from one thought to another, from one thought, and kept on building these thoughts until I've come up with this draft that I think will be able to compete for the GCF funding.
Thank you very much. Great to hear that. What are your plans for institutionalizing CRIBS at your ministry and also in Uganda, because you're going to be the CRIBS champion in Uganda?
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Now, one of my methods of institutionalizing CRIBS, I know it might be not easy, so easy for me, but I'm going to ensure that I try my best. The first step will be to write a back to office brief. The bosses who sent me here expect to pass on the knowledge that I got from here to my colleagues and to them, to know the person we sent out, did she represent us well? So through that concept, through the back to office brief, I'll be able to tell them what happened. And also, on top of that, I'll present my concept note. I'll also go through my bosses. I'll not jump hierarchies. Through my bosses, since we are in a planning department, and one of our mandates is resource mobilization. So that is what the kind of strategy I'm going to zero at. Through my immediate boss, then my immediate boss will push that further to the top. And I'm hoping this project, since it is among the proposed pipeline projects, and the way it has now been dressed smartly, it will go through.
Thank you very much. We hope to come back and interview you after the GCF has said yes to your proposal. And thank you very much for having time to speak to me. Thank you very much. This has been Mildred Namiira from the Ministry of Environment and Water in Uganda.
Thank you, Fiona.
Thank you.